Welcome back to Tabletop WarpGamers. This is episode 3 of Ollie's Rambles. Firstly, before I start on what I want to talk about in this episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to everyone that's been watching our videos and subscribing. We're currently up to 116 subscribers, which is amazing. I think we've been doing this maybe going on 4 months. And just for a couple of lads playing games and our mates, it's incredible and it is highly appreciated. So if anyone's listening who hasn't subscribed and you like what we do, please subscribe. That helps us out a lot, and if you can give a thumbs up and leave comments, all of us check the comments, so depending on who you want to talk to or what it's about, you'll get a reply. So in today's rambles, or like this episode's rambles, I want to talk about a couple of games I've had recently with new people. The fact that me and Reese are going to a tournament in July, and the list I think I'm taking, there's still like 2 months, so it might change depending on money, but I've definitely got a list that I can bring, and I'm more than happy to bring. It's not super competitive, but it should be really fun. More just going for play some games against new people, really. But firstly, I just want to say we've met a guy from doing these YouTube videos, which has been incredible, called David, who was relatively local to us. So he's come over. You'll have seen him in 2 battle reports now, playing me with Black Legion and Reese with Alpha Legion, I think it was. And he played Raven Guard against Sam the other day, against Space Wolves. You'll see that on the channel, so I won't say what happened. But really nice guy, and I find it amazing that that we've met someone who's really cool and has like the same interests that we do from YouTube. That's incredible. So if there's anyone else in the area, like the Blackburn, Lancashire area, drop a comment. We could always arrange games at the back cave or wherever. If you're sound, we can always arrange games, which is awesome. That's probably my favourite thing, really, that's come from the channel. Meeting someone we would never have known existed, really, because we'd have stayed in our little bubble. So yeah, that's awesome. I've got a feeling you'll be seeing him on the channel quite a bit. He's got quite a few armies and wants to play a lot like we do. So yeah, you'll probably see different armies of Daves on the channel. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Just proper sound guy. I just find it awesome that that it all came from doing a YouTube channel. So yeah, I've played Davey, which were very fun, because I've never really played against Chaos up until recently, and I played Chaos a few times because I played Ian again, who's from the area, who goes to Batcave. You'll have seen that video, possibly, Dark Angels against World Eaters. Played him again off camera. That were a fun game. I lost, but pretty close, to be fair. I did have a chance to etch out a draw, so that was fun. And I'm quite looking forward to on Thursday. I've booked a day off work, so we'll be on 210s and Batcave. I've Thursdays are wargaming nights, where the store stays open till 9 o'clock. So I booked the day off, and me and Reese are going to go for when Batcave opens. I think it's about 10:30. And we'll try and get 3 games in. Hopefully record them all, which would be awesome. So if they get recorded, they'll all be going up on the channel. Meet some new people. Try and get some different armies on the channel. What I'm also looking forward to with that, apart from meeting new people and playing at Batcave, because I've only really played at Batcave once, is I think it'll be good tournament preparation. This leads me into my next topic. Me and Reese are going to a tournament, Harlequins in Preston. Just a 1 day. I think it's just like a little ITT. Nothing massive. I think it'll be a good toe dip into the competitive scene. See if that's the way I want to go with the hobby. So that's the end of July. So I've currently got to paint up my list. I'll be bringing my Dark Angels. Reese is bringing Tau. It's 3 games on a Sunday. 2,000 points. Forge World allowed. So I'm quite looking forward to that. We're only a tenner. So even if I finish last, it's going to be a nice day out. Hopefully play 3 different armies. I'll meet 3 different people. So it should be fun. I'm quite looking forward to that. The list I've decided to take, what I want to go through really in this episode, I would really love some comments from Space Marine players, more specifically Dark Angels, but anyone really, if you know about the army. I'm not changing much because I don't know where we're at with money and can I get it painted in time. But any advice on how to play it or little tweaks, I'd love to hear them. So I'm just going to run you through the army list. So it's 3 detachments. It's a battalion, a spearhead, and I knew I was going to forget the name as soon as I started. The elite one, a vanguard. So in the battalion, there's Azrael, who will obviously be my warlord. So you have the Grand Strategist warlord trait, and a Primaris lieutenant, who I take the relic Heavenfall Blade, mainly because you get a relic for free, and I really don't like any of the Dark Angel relics, to be honest, but that's alright. If you heroically intervene to something, it's pretty good. It's just a power sword really, but it's +2 strength, -3 D3 damage, and he gets an extra attack, so it's not bad. So I throw that in there. The troop choices are 3 squads of intercessors, just standard intercessors, fill out my troops. I think that's it for the battalion, and then the spearhead is led by a Tech Marine, standard Tech Marine, standard servo harness, and the 3 heavy supports are 10 Hellblasters, 9 Hellblasters, and a Leviathan Dreadnought, with 2 Storm Cannon arrays and 3 Hunter Killers. So yeah, I really like this part of my army, like the Leviathan. I've probably used it in proxy and with the actual model now maybe 10 games, and it's never ever had a bad game for me. It's hard to kill, and even if it does die relatively quickly, it takes pressure away from the rest of the army. Its weapons are amazing. I love it. It's probably my favourite unit in my army. The Hellblasters are amazing. The only problem with the Hellblasters is getting them into range, but once you get them into range, things start dying, especially with weapons from the Dark Age. So that's the spearhead part. The Tech Marine, as you can imagine, is literally going to sit behind the Leviathan and try and keep it alive for as long as possible. And then I forgot the name again, the Vanguard detachment is a normal librarian. And then the 3 elites are 6 aggressors with auto bolt storm gauntlets and the missiles. A Primaris Ancient and an Apothecary. And that's my 2,000 point army. The librarian will be taking the Powers Aversion, which is 24-inch range, cast on an enemy. That unit is -1 to shoot, which is quite handy. If they've got something nasty, try and get it off on like a Storm Raven or a Riptide or something like that, to try and keep my castle alive. and his other power is Trephination, and that's how you say it. Probably not. And if that's successfully cast, you roll 2d6, adding 2 to the result if the 2d6 was over 10, and you take that away from the unit you cast the power on's leadership, and whatever you win by is mortal wounds to that unit. Nearest unit within 18 inch. So yeah, in theory it can be a better version of Smite. A lot of times I'll probably just play it safe, cast Evasion, cast Smite. But it's always there in the back pocket, and he frees me up to do another detachment, which is cool. So I have 11 CPs, because 5 for the battalion, 3 for the battle forged, 1 for the spearhead, 1 for the vanguard, and 1 for Azrael. So I think there's quite a few command points for Space Marines, because there's a lot of stratagems that I want to use every turn when I can, like weapons from the Dark Age, things like that. The general idea with the list, as you can imagine, it's quite straightforward. Everything's going to be in a bubble. I'll stretch out as long as I can in my deployment, but make sure units are all hitting Azrael, the Apothecary, and the Ancient. So all the men in the army have 4 up invulns, which I think is pretty strong. Everything has at least 2 wounds. Everything has a chance on a 4 then to shoot or fight with the banner, and then the Apothecary can try and bring someone back every turn, which will always be a Hellblaster or an Aggressor, depending on what I need the most. The Aggressors I absolutely love. I played them against Reese a couple of weeks ago. There were quite a lot of proxies on, so we didn't record it. But he were playing Tyrannies, so I knew he were coming at me. His Tyrannies have very little shooting, so you know they're all about the charge. So we've got a nice little castle wall with the 6 aggressors that didn't move, and they were firing over 100 shots, and then they charge in with a power fist. They're incredible. Now, I'm aware that's not always going to happen. You're not always going to face an army where you can just sit there, but they still put out quite a bit of DACA if you have to move, and they're not too bad in combat. They can finish things off. Bit short range, but they can advance and fire. 5-inch movements. They're moving at least 6, which I know is not much, but maybe up to 11. So the minimum threat range is 24, which kind of fits in with my army. So that's the list. So I'm just going to talk about a couple of things I'm worried about with the tournament. And obviously, as you can tell by the list, I'm not going thinking I'm going to win. I know this ain't a super competitive army, but it's really fun, and it uses the things in the Dark Angels that I really like the Hellblasters and things like that, and Azrael. Pretty much why I went to Dark Angels. That's why they're not green, if you haven't seen my army, because I didn't know I was doing Dark Angels when I started, and I quite like my colour scheme. So matchups, I'm really worried about that. I just think I'm going to have a bad day. It'll be Thousand Suns for sure. Thousand Suns spring to mind more than anyone, but basically anything with like mass spite or mass mortal wounds, because you're getting through my 4 up invul, and that's like my whole gimmick. So Thousand Suns spring to mind. I haven't looked at them, but from what I've been hearing in other podcasts, I think Tesseract Vaults spill out a load of mortal wounds, and also there's some lists out there that rock 3 Tesseract Vaults. Don't know if I'm going to see this in a tournament in Preston. It's only a 1-day thing. I don't know if it's going to be super cheesy. I'll find out. And then any other bad matchups really that spring to mind that I don't think I'm going to have fun in, or anything with super long range that don't have to move, like Guard, maybe Tau. Me and Reece are going to start player testing the missions for the tournament next week. And some of his towel need to be in my kind of range. My range is 36 to 24. Apart from 3 hunter killers, everything what needs to be 24 to 36. And some a little smaller. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have a bad time play testing against races. There's like 60-inch riptides, I think they are, 72-inch rail guns, things like that. But we'll see. I'm quite confident in the survivability of the list, apart from mortal wounds, because it's 4 up invulns. Everything's got 2 wounds. What I think's nice about the list is any like dedicated anti-armour isn't that good against me once the Leviathan's gone, which is going to suck 'cause I'm probably going to lose the Leviathan within 2 turns every single game. If you take in 12 las cannons or 12 missile launchers or 4 railguns or whatever, lances, you get the picture. Until that Leviathan's gone, that's probably what you're going to fire them weapons at. But once that's happened, you haven't paid all these points for las cannons to try killing hellblasters, really. Oh, that's what I think. And I get 4 up invulns, so I'm saving mathematically 50% of what you fire at me. And then if you're super unlucky, you might only get 1 on the wound, and you haven't killed the Primaris. That will happen that often, don't get me wrong. But I think that's a neat little thing, because the big stuff doesn't scare me. But I played not exactly this list, but it was 85 to 90% the same list against Ian's Chaos, and he took 3 quad heavy bolter platforms and rapier platforms, and I underestimated them really. I was proxying a Xiphon because I thought that's the way I was going to go. So my Xiphon flew over, blew up a Predator with las cannons, thinking that was going to be like my biggest threat just because of armies I've used to play, and it wasn't. Like the las cannons, you know, you're killing like 2 to 4 guys a turn at best. If everything hits and everything wounds and everything goes through the invulns, you're not going to kill that many. And then the Xiphon got shot down, and I weren't in range of the heavy bolters, and he had 3 of them. So he was throwing 36 shots into my castle. That in a way kind of negates my invul. Like it doesn't, but it puts me on a 4 anyway. So it's like I've paid these points for Azrael for his invul, but do you get what I mean? I'm not using it. I'm using really my army. If Azrael weren't there to heavy bolters, I'm still on 4s. He's there to stop the really big things, and it was just chewing up so much of my men every turn, and they lived all game. Where in hindsight the Xiphon should have flew over and tried to take at least 2 out first turn, which I think reliably it probably could have done. But you live and learn, don't you? So I'm scared of like heavy bolters. Like if I play a guard player at this tournament, like Basilisk, Wyverns, battle cannons, especially if it's Catachan, they're going to throw so many shots at me while I'm lumbering up the board. I'm going to have a bad day. Well, that's fine. But it should be fun. I've got a lot to paint in the next 2 months. I think Reese has a little bit to paint, but as you see on channel, a lot of it is already painting. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going. It should be a good learning experience. And meet some new people, which would be cool. Depending on time, I'm going to try and record a battle, or at least like Might do a little vlog on travelling there and try and get some armies on camera. It'd be a shame not to get any recording done while we're there. Probably won't be able to record games, probably push for time. But I'll try and always get a quick video of the people's armies. I don't think anything else has really happened since the last episode. Just been tinkering with lists really. I've tried like a second Leviathan and Xiphon. But I'm probably going to buy a second Leviathan and a Xiphon down the line. But for now I've gone with aggressors because they look cool and they're fun. When you get to pick all them dice up when it works and when they're in range, it is extremely fun. So yeah, this really needs paint up now. Finished a squad of intercessors the other day, so I'll now have 2 finished squads. Next week I'm hoping to get half the army done because I've started work on a lot of stuff to try and get as much paint on as I could for the channel. So there's a lot of things that if I sit down for an hour or two, I can see squads to completion. A lot of like half done, quarter done. I just need to start pushing them out now. Basically I need to stop being lazy because I'm a bit pushed for time with work and the family. But I still have plenty of time with being on shifts where I can get 2 hours a day in if I wanted to. It's just I don't really like painting. I like the end result, and even though I'm not really a good painter, I think they're decent for tabletop, and I do feel like a sense of accomplishment, and I like seeing it come together. So I do want to get it done. I've never owned a painted army either. I've been playing this game for like 15 years. I've never painted a full army. I used to just play like with grey or coated, just base coated miniatures, which is a bit shocking really. So yeah, I need to do that and just keep hammering these missions, keep playing them. Cause in the rules pack it said what game 1, 2 and 3 are. They're all from chapter approved, so I haven't played any missions from chapter approved, so me and Reese are hammering it out. We're going to time ourselves, be a bit stricter, like no take backs, or I forgot to do this, we've slightly moved on, do you mind if I do it now? Because you never know if someone at a tournament might like, no, you missed it. Where normally you'd let someone go back if it doesn't really change anything. So yeah, let's get a bit stricter, tighten our game up really. And then yeah, we've got 2 months to get painted up and learn as much as I can. I think that's it, to be honest. I do realise even for a rambles, this is very rambly. So he's probably not a good listen, I apologise. But I wanted to get an episode 3 out, keep the series going. Like I say, I do really want comments on my list from fellow Space Marine players or people that play against Space Marines. The more matchups that I should be worried about, should be preparing for. I'd appreciate any advice. Again, thank you so much for the support. 116 subscribers, I'm overwhelmed by that, it's incredible. Some of the views our videos are getting now, and we're getting more comments, I'm absolutely loving it. Hopefully it'll only go up. Soon I'll have a painted army, within 2 months, because I have to get to this tournament. And then I'm probably going to take a tiny little break and I think try and paint some of the terrain that we have on the table, get some colour, yeah, and it'll all look better. I think we've been pretty good with proxies, a lot less on channel. Sam's still got a few things that aren't WYSIWYG, but Sam for a while didn't have any money. Sam's got a job now, so that's probably going to change, so that'll be better, and you'll probably see some new units from Sam. I've kind of got him onto Custodes and Dawn Eagle jet bites, which I'll probably regret when they rock up on the table, but it should make some good videos. I think we said this is coming out Wednesday, So just to give you a heads up before I go, on Friday, me and Reese are going to do a podcast. It'll just be me and Reese. Sam works days now and I work shifts. It's going to be very hard for us all to be in the same room. But Reese can talk you through his list for the tournament, matchups he's worried about, his strong matchups. We'll have played two games by Friday with the missions at the tournament, so we can talk about them. And we'll have been to Blackburn all day Thursday, so we should have some games to talk about and what happened if we met anyone new and things like that. So yeah, look out for that. Also, the 1st of June, there'll be a video going up. It's not much, but we said we'd do a giveaway when we hit 100 subscribers, because it does mean so much to us that we're getting this support. I'll be doing a video, so watch out for that. For the month of June, I'm not sure if we're doing it for 2 weeks or a month. So a month's quite long, I'm thinking 2 weeks. Like the video, subscribe, and then leave a comment in that video for the giveaway. And then the comment with the most thumbs up, it can be any comment of like, I don't know, an army list, I don't know, a joke, anything. Whatever has the most thumbs up when the competition ends, we're going to give away a £20 GW voucher online, so we don't have to send anything off. And then I think if someone enters from other countries, I think we can do it in like euros or dollars. I'll have to look into that, but we'll sort it out. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I think that's it really for now. So yeah, thanks again guys for your support. It means a lot to all of us, I know that, but definitely to me. But yeah, we're all ecstatic about it, especially Reese, because he, for those that don't know, he does the majority of the work. He does all the editing. It's his house we play, it's his table and stuff. We all come up with like, ideas and plans, things like that. But Reese is the one that's doing all the editing. I think Sam would agree, if it weren't for Reese we wouldn't have a channel, because I don't have the time, and I don't know if Sam would have the patience and time to do it himself. So yeah, it's brilliant. So I'm going to leave it there guys. Yeah, thanks a lot. Happy wargaming. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time.